Shalom, Yashala, all glory, praise, and honor to the Most High, Shohaya, Bashem, Amashiach Yeshai. We blessed, and I'm blessed again by the Most High to come before y'all again. This lesson today is going to be on the new moon. Okay, we're going to break down what a new moon is. Today is actually the first new moon of our new year, right? The new moon is the first day of the year, and we're going to break down through scripture, through extra biblical text, what the new moon is and how to determine this day throughout the year. We're going to start in the Bible. We're going to start first with Exodus chapter 12 verse 2. It says, "This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you." Now, it doesn't give you a specific time of when this first month of the year is. All right? Nowhere in the Bible does it give you this. And all biblical scholars who deal with just the Bible itself will tell you there's no specific day to know. So we're going to break down in the extra biblical text how to find it out. Very simple, very easy, right? And so first we're going to break down what the new moon is though first. All right, so we're going to go to Psalms 81 and 1. "Sing aloud unto Ahia our strength. Make a joyful noise unto Ahia. Make a joyful noise unto the power of Jacob." Verse 2. "Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery." Verse 3. "Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day." Right? Verse 4. "For this is a statute for Israel and a law of the power of Jacob." So this is the new moon. It's a festival feast day. It is a law. It is a statute for all Israelites to observe this day and to keep it a feast unto the Most High. Right? It says you can blow up the trumpet on the new moon. You know, if you got your trumpet, blow that up physically, or also just teaching this word, because our voice is to be lifted up as a trumpet as well. Right? So let's get a little more. Let's go to Hosea 2 and 1, 2 and 11. Get a little more on that. Hosea 2:11 says, "I will also cause all her mirth to cease, her feast days, her new moons, and her Sabbaths, and all her solemn feast days." So this is just breaking down that the new moon is a joyful day of gladness and feasting before the Most High. And it's a festival, and it's something that we need to observe to thank the Most High for bringing us into another year, all right, and another season, all right. Now, let's go to, we're going to go right into the book of Jubilees, all right. And scriptural reference for the book of Jubilees is 2nd Ezra chapter 14, verses 3 through 6, all right. This is a book written by Moses when he was up on the Mount Sinai, receiving the law, statutes, and commandments from the Most High. Right? So we're going to read Jubilees chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 23. All right? And this is going to break down the new moon. All right? Okay. In verse 23 it says, "And on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the 4th month, and on the new moon of the 7th month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever." So you're getting a very clear understanding right off the bat that there's 4 new moons in a year, and they represent the 4 seasons of the year. Now we know common sense, the 4 seasons is spring, summer, fall, winter. Now the Bible calls them new moons. So as we come into each different season, this is when you're to hold a new moon feast unto the Most High, appointed and ordained at a certain fixed time every single year. Right? You can't be lost in this unless you don't know the first day of the year. All right? We're just breaking down what this is. A new moon is the first day of every season of the year, right? A little more. And Noah ordained them. So these things were ordained by Noah before the law was even given to Israel. Okay? And I'm saying that because people try to break down the new moon according to other things and not referencing, because they don't have the extra biblical text to know that this was already ordained before the law, that these were already being kept by Noah and Shem and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. They were all keeping these 70 sons of Jacob. All of them kept these things before they got the law from Moses, all right? It says, and Noah ordained them for himself as feasts for the generations forever, so that they have become thereby a memorial unto him. And on the new moon of the first month, he was bidden to make for himself an ark. And on that day, the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. So he's telling you the things that happened on this day and why it was ordained as a feast day, because this was the same day that he was told to make an ark, same day where the earth became dry after the flood, and that he saw the earth. So he ordained it as a day of feasting and celebration. It was on the ark. You know what I'm saying? All that time it was a day of feasting. Then it says, verse 26, and on the new moon of the fourth month, which is the new moon of the summer season, the mouths of the depths of the abyss beneath were closed. And they closed the depths of the water that was coming. There was water coming from the heavens above, and there was water coming from under the earth during the flood. It wasn't just flooded from rains coming out from heaven. There's water coming up through the fountains of the deep too, all right? And you will know about that if you read Enoch 2. Tell you all to understand the whole creation of heaven and earth and everything, all the secrets, right? And on the new moon of the seventh month, all the mouths of the abyss of the earth were open, and the waters began to descend into them. So this talks about how when the waters will start descending, the fountains were opened up to where water can sink back into them. No more water was coming up out of them. And on the new moon of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad. Verse 28, and on this account he ordained them for himself as feasts for a memorial forever, and thus are they ordained. And they placed them on, these angels, and they placed them on the heavenly tables. Each had 13 weeks from one to another, passed from their memorial, from the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth. So it's telling you it's 13 weeks in every season. Okay? 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13 gives you what? 52 weeks. We know there's 52 weeks in a year, right? So you got 13 weeks for each new moon. Today is the first new moon, and then 13 weeks from today, because the Most High set the ordinance with the sun and the moon to come up at certain times every year. You're never going to lose track of the time. 13 weeks, you got the next new moon. Another 13 weeks, you got the fall new moon. And then 13 weeks, you got the winter new moon. Simple as that. And it says, verse 30, and all the days of the commandment will be 52 weeks of days. We just said, and these will make the entire year complete. So off top, you can already reason. Okay, you got 52 weeks in a year. Okay, and Genesis tell you that the Most High made the heaven and the earth and all that's in them in 6 days, and he rested on the seventh day and hallowed it and made it the Sabbath day. It tells you 7 days in a week. So 7 times 52 is telling you off top right there how many days are in a year. But we're going to go into that. All right. Read it one more time. In verse 30, and all the days of the commandment will be 52 weeks of days, and these will make the entire year complete. Thus, 31, thus it is engraved and ordained on the heavenly tables, and there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year or from year to year. That means it's not going to change. This is going to be the same law, statute, appointed time forever. Okay? Straight up. Verse 32, and command thou the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days. Yes, and we're going to break that down too. And these will constitute a complete year. and they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts. For everything will fall out of them according to their testimony, and they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feast. So it's telling you, if you know that the year has 364 days, then you're never going to mess up on the feast, because in Leviticus 23 it tells you every single feast. And the first month, the 14th day, you shall keep the Passover. All right, so all you got to do is know the first day of the year, and every single feast you are never going to mess up. This is what it's telling you. If you keep these seasons, the new moons, according to their seasons, you're going to know when to keep every holy day. As simple as that. Verse 33. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from this order, and they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged, and they will neglect their ordinances. Right? So it's saying if you don't know how to keep the new moon, then that's going to throw off every single feast of the whole year. Okay, because they're at fixed appointed times. You can't just keep unleavened bread whenever you want to, or look at the moon, which we're going to go into that too. It's telling you right here, this is how you make sure you get the right time, the appointed time, according to the new moons. Right? Very important. Verse 34, and all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. This is going on right now. You got people keeping so many different feasts on different days, and I'm not going into what everyone else doing. I'm just showing you what the scriptures say. All right. Verse 35. For I know, and from henceforth shall I declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising, for the book written before me, and on the heavenly tables the division of the days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant, and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles after their error and after their generations. Verse 36. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon. I got to speak on so many camps teach to watch the moon, man. And we're going to break that down. But this is already prophesied in Jubilees. People are going to forget the new moon, and they're going to actually watch the moon and say, this is going to be the time we see the feast. And they got precepts which we'll go over. But I'm telling you, this was prophesied to Moses, that people are going to forget the feast, forget the proper way to tell time, and they're going to start following the moon, which is the host of heaven, which we're commanded not to do. All right? And there will be those who will surely make observations of the moon. Now it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. What does that tell you? For all you that are watching the moon, oh, it's a full moon, oh, it's a new moon, this is telling you that's going to come in 10 days too soon. Each year. So it doesn't come in at the fixed appointed time every year. So now, if you're watching the moon, guess what? You're 10 days off on every single feast all year long. And then the next year, you'll be 20 days off. And next year, you'll be 30, and so on and so forth. Because the Most High gave the pattern of the moon a different pattern than the pattern of the sun. Okay, and we're going to read all of that. But I'm just reading this and giving you a little understanding of what it's saying. You can't follow the moon when it comes to the holy days, because you're going to be off every single time, right? For this, verse 37, for this reason the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day, the day of testimony, and an unclean day as a feast day. And they will confound all the days, and the holy with the unclean, and the unclean with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths and feasts and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons, and the seasons, and the Sabbaths, and the festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. This was already prophesied, y'all, to Moses, to tell to the children of Israel. Okay? And as you know, in our so-called Julian calendar, they got, 365 days. So the powers that be. Matter of fact, let's read that right quick. Let's read that. Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given to his hand until a time and times and dividing of time. So right now we are given into the hand of the fourth beast, the Roman Empire, and they have added a day to the calendar. Okay, as we just read, it's 364 days, and one day all it takes one day, and you're off every single holy day by one day, every single one. All right. So glory to the Most High. We're just going into understanding to know, according to the book of Jubilees, what the Most High told Moses, we're not supposed to follow the moon, to indicate any type of understanding of when to keep the feast, the holy days, and Jubilees. And best believe we're going to go to Sirach chapter 43 to break that down. All you those are saying have that understanding on Sirach 43. All right? So, now let's go to Psalms 104. We're going to get the true breakdown on how, we're going to get the breakdown on the new moon right now. All right, Psalms 104 and verse 19. He appointed the moon for seasons, the sun knoweth his going down. Right? So this is just a little extra to speak on in regards to what the Most High did in creation regarding the sun and the moon. Right? It says he appointed the moon for seasons, like we just read. The new moon is for the seasons, right? 4 divisions of the year. Let's go to Genesis right quick. And let's break that down. Go all the way back to creation so we can make sure what are these hosts of heaven for. Okay, Genesis 1 and 14. And how it said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So we know the sun, he made that to divide daytime from the nighttime. Sun is for the day, moon is for the night. And let them be for signs. We had the pillar, the cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night. These are the signs that we had when we came out of the Egypt and was walking in the wilderness. Right? These are the signs of heaven, right? And for seasons, the 4 seasons of the year are ordained by the new moon, right? And for days and for years. Days, the day is over when the sun goes down because the days start in darkness, right? So we know when we see the moon, we know the day is in darkness. That day is over. We're in a new day. And for years, because the cycle that the Most High set for the sun and the moon is according to how long it stays daytime opposed to the darkness, and then they switch. That's why you got something called Pacific Daylight Savings Time and all that, which they're switching today because they know today's the first day of the year. All right? They know this, right? So when you look at how it gets lighter for a longer part of the time in the spring, right at the new moon of summer, that's the longest daylight day of the year. Then it starts, the days start getting shorter all the way till you get to the 3rd new moon, which is in fall. And by the time you get to the 4th new moon, which is the first day of winter, you got the darkest or the darkest nights of the year. The longest nights of the year, right? So when it constitutes this whole spectrum and it comes back up to today, then it's been a whole 364 day cycle. All right. Verse 15, and let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon earth, and it was so. Verse 16, and the Most High made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. So, tell you off top, sun is to rule the day, the moon is to rule the night. All right. And as you go through all of Genesis chapter 1, the evening and the morning was the first day. He says it over and over because the days start in darkness. It doesn't say, and the morning and the evening was the first day. It says the evening and the morning. So when you see the moon, that's telling you you're in the next day. You're in the beginning of the day. And the sun is not out during the evening time. Okay? It's not. The moon is out. All right? So the moon rules the night, and it brings in the new day every year. Every day. Verse 17. And the Most High set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. Verse 18. And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And I saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Right? So this is the understanding, just vaguely, or we're going all the way into what the Most High said about what the sun is and what the moon is, namely the moon. Right? Now, let's go to Sirach 43, so we can get the true understanding of what this scripture means. Right? Sirach 43 in the Apocrypha. This is what it says. Let's start at verse 5. Great is I that made it, and at his commandment it runneth hastily. Speaking of the sun. He made the moon also to serve in her season. Now, you're hearing that word season a lot. You're going to get more understanding. For a declaration of times and a sign of the world, of course. Telling you in the spring, in the summer season, fall season, winter season. Telling you the declaration of the times, when the new year starts, so you can keep all the holy days according to the appointed times. Now this is the misunderstanding right here. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. So a lot of brethren, they say, according to this, when we see the moon, it's a sign of the feast. A light that decreases in her perfection. So if the moon is decreasing in her perfection, that means it's full. Right? It's not increasing in her perfection, so it's perfect when it's a full moon. So when we see a full moon, that means it's a sign of the feast. Okay. As we just read, a new moon is a feast. All right. So understand, all feasts start at evening. Right? Tell you, we'll read it right quick. All feasts start at evening. We can pick anyone real quick. We'll just go to Leviticus 23. Okay. Leviticus 23, verse, 4. These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye proclaim in their seasons, right? In the 14th day of the first month, at even, is the Most High's Passover. So it's telling you, the feast is going to start at evening. It's going to start at the daytime. Starts at evening, right? Now we read in Genesis that the sun is to rule the day and the moon is to rule the night. The sun is not out during the evening time. Is it? No, it's not. It's when the moon is out. So when it says the moon right here is the sign of the feast, it's simply telling you that it's dark time now. It's evening now. Now you keep the feast. It's not telling you nothing more than that. The Most High didn't give the moon nothing more than that, man. It is to administer light on the earth at dark time, to show you that it's in a new day, and that's it. We don't follow the moon and how bright it is, and if it's a sliver, and if it's a full moon. We don't follow none of that. We just read what the Most High made the moon for in Genesis. That's it. That's it. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's big or small. They're just giving you an attribute that it gets bigger. It gets lighter and it decreases. And we're going to go into that in Enoch and show you why it's doing that. Okay? But if we don't follow the moon, it's going to come out 10 days off from when the sun comes out every year. 10 days off. That's not a fixed time that's going to come out every single year. It's going to come off 10 days different every single year. So your holy days are going to be off every single year if you're watching the moon, just like Moses told you in Jubilees. You're going to be off by 10 days every single year, right? For from the moon is the sign of the feast, a light that decreases in her perfection. So if I look up and see the moon during the day, like the moon is out during the day sometimes, okay? A lot of times. You just look up, moon's right there. Does that mean I'm supposed to keep the feast now? No, because all the feasts start at evening. They don't start during the day. So you can't keep a new moon in the middle of the day because you determine that the new moon is here because you see a full moon in the sky. All feasts start at evening, right? So this is just to break down the understanding of that scripture, man. It's not the way we are to observe the moon and define that breakdown. It's just telling you that it's dark time. Now you're in the new moon, right? The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully and her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the highest places of the Most High. At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches. So they're going to do what the Most High told them to do. The sun's going to come up at a certain time every single day and set at a certain time every single day. All throughout the whole year, it's going to be according to the commandment of the Most High. Going up, going down. Moon, same thing. Going up, going down. At certain times. All right? And so when you know the proper time, you're not going to go off, because all you got to do is watch, remember the Sabbath day, and count your Sabbaths. From the first day of the year, from the first new moon, you just count your Sabbaths. And you never, ever, ever lose track of time. Never. Don't work that way. All right? So let's go to Ezekiel 45 and 17. Ezekiel 45 and 17. It says, Ezekiel 45 and 17. Okay. It says, and it shall be the prince's part to give burnt offerings and meat offerings and drink offerings in the feast and in the new moons and in the Sabbaths, in all solemnities of the house of Israel. He shall prepare the sin offering and the meat offering and the burnt offering and the peace offering to make reconciliation for the house of Israel. So we're reading this to show you that just like with every feast, there is a sin offering offered, okay? So the way that we keep this new moon feast, number one, we're not offering lambs, rams, goats, no more on the altar. For Hamashiach Yeshai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is our forever, holy, perfect atonement for sin, right? And that being a part of being, having the faith in Him and being baptized into His body, we are the temple. We are the body, all right? Our body is the temple of the Most High. So, the New Testament and the blood of Hamashiach Yeshai is what we take as our, and in remembrance of Him. So we are to drink the wine and the bread as per this offering for sin. Okay, I'll tell you in 1 Corinthians 6 and 19. Matter of fact, let's go there right quick. Is to show you that we're supposed to take this, which is called communion. 2 Corinthians 6. Or 2 Corinthians 11. 11 and 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians. Salakia, y'all. Hold on. It's 11. Okay, this is 1 Corinthians 11 and 24. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. So when we are offering, when we think about the sin offering that was offered on the new moon, okay, because our atonement for sin is through our faith in Hamashiach Yeshai and His death and resurrection, we, in remembrance of Him, we take the cup of the wine and the bread to do that. All right, so it's important. Okay, you have to do this in remembrance of Hamashiach Yeshai all the time. It's not just no once a month type deal, whatever. Let's read what it says. Verse 25. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as often as ye drink it in remembrance of me. Verse 26. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show Yeshai's death till He comes. So we supposed to always do this stuff, all right? This is a part of keeping the new moon, all right? Feasting. You cook, at a holy convocation, come together with your brethren, you blow the trumpet, and you do communion, all right? A little bit more on that. Let's go to Amos 8 and 5. All praise to the Most High. All right, Amos 8 and 5. when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn? And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. Now, this is just giving you a breakdown to show that, on the Sabbath is when you can't buy or sell. And so, they're saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn? So this should tell you that the new moon is kept as a Sabbath. Right? This is the breakdown of that. You're supposed to observe the new moon as a Sabbath. Only saving that you can cook, that is a feast day. Right? But no buying and selling. And no laying with your wife if you're married. You know what I'm saying? No servile work therein. Okay? This is the new moon ordinance. Right? Now, let's go break down the scriptural. Okay, this is for all the brethren who are walking in the doctrine of the book with the doctrine which is not biblical. If there's anyone that has this scripture or precept that can refute what I'm saying, please let it be known. Put it in the description box, put it in the comments, whatever. There's no precept that says this book is the only thing you're supposed to read and conclude everything in the book with the book. If you have any knowledge and truth of the Bible, of the Council of Nicaea, when the Bible was compiled, all right, when a collection of books was compiled, it was more than 200 scriptural texts, more than 200. They put less than half of that in the book, and my book, it got 81 books with the Apocrypha. That's still less than half of all the scriptures that were there, all the scriptural text that was there. All right. So we're going to read right now. Those that have resolved how many days are in a year, and then we're going to show you with Enoch how you're really close to the understanding how many days in a year, which constitutes how to keep all the feasts. You're real close, but you're going to be off. All right, we're going to go to Genesis chapter 7, verse 11, right? In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were open. So this is when the flood started, right? Second month, 17th day. Now we go over one chapter to Genesis 8 and verse 3. Oh, let's start at 2. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven were restrained. Verse 3. And the waters returned from off the earth continually, and after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. So let's give you a time from when the waters was coming up, second month, 17th day, 150 days went by, right? Verse 4. And the ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountains of Ararat. So you had second month, 17th day. Now it's telling you the 7th month, 17 days. So when you do the math, that's 5 months. You look at the 150 days right there, right? So you're going to put the math together and say, well, 150 days in 5 months, that's a 30-day month, right? So if we conclude that it's 30 days a month, then it's 12 months in a year. That means it's 360 days in the whole year. That's according to the Bible and what we got here. That's 100% right. Okay? But what you're missing is extra scriptural text that tell you that the 4 seasons of the year or 4 new moons are not accounted right here. And if you add those 4 days, which we're going to read right now, Enoch, you're going to get 364 days. So you're right there. You're just not accounting for the 4 days that are added. And we're going to read that right now. Right? So we're going to go to Enoch right quick. And we're going to start chapter 72, verse 32. Right? Here we go. This book of Enoch, chapter 72, verse 32. And on that day, the night becomes shorter and amounts to 9 parts, and the day amounts to 9 parts, and the night becomes equal with the day, and the year amounts to exactly 364 days. So what this is breaking down, and it's a whole lot before this, but we want to stay on topic, and for time's sake, I'm just going to paraphrase for you. Yesterday I was speaking earlier how from spring all the way up until summer, the days are getting, from fall, the fourth new moon, to summer, the second new moon, the days are going to be getting lighter. And they get the lightest, they have the longest day at the new moon of the summer. And then from the summer, which is the second new moon, back down to the winter, which is the fourth new moon, the days start getting shorter. The daylight time getting shorter. So it's telling you when it comes to equal, which will be the first new moon and the seventh new moon, whether it be in day coming down equal to night, or night getting longer coming equal to day, they're going to become equal, and the years are going to amount to 364 days. So it's telling you when the sun, daylight, and nighttime is the same equal amount of time, that's your indication that you just completed a whole year. 364 days. Alright? The Bible tell you that the Most High created all the days, and He never named them. He just named them first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, and then He named the seventh day, hallowed it, the Sabbath day. So, the last day of the week is the Sabbath day, right? So, the last day of the year is going to be the Sabbath day, huh? Which means the first day of the year, or the new moon, all 4 new moons of the year are all going to be on first day, or what the world call Sunday. Every new moon is going to be on a first day of the year, or a Sunday, every single time. All right? Chapter 72, verse 33. And the length of the day and the night, and the shortness of the day and the night, they are different because of the journey of the sun. Because of it, the journey becomes daily longer and nightly shorter. So this is talking about how after the first year, the day is going to start getting longer and the night's going to start getting shorter. Okay, this is what's going on. Now, let's go to Enoch 74 and 11. Let's start right here. Okay, and this is Enoch 74, chapter 74, verse 11. And the excess of the sun and the stars come to 6 days and 5 years and 6 days each, and they have an excess of 30 days, and the moon falls behind the sun and the stars by 30 days. So this is the breakdown and show you how the moon is on a different time schedule ordained by the Father. They don't come out at the same times, right? We're going to go through it right here. Verse 12. The moon conducts the years exactly, all of them according to their eternal positions. That means they're going to do the same thing every year. They are neither early nor late, even by 1 day, but change the year in exactly 364 days. So, whatever the Most High is telling the sun, the moon, and the stars to do, and we're not going down to the origin and the breakdown of the whole thing, but quickly, the sun, the moon, and the stars, the earth is fixed, so shall it not move. Okay, tell you that in Psalms. The earth is not moving. Okay, this is a lie about science and astronomy. All right, we're fixed. The Most High made heaven and earth first. Then He made the sun, the moon, the moon, and the stars to administer light to us. He didn't make the earth, heaven and earth, and then make a sun and have us go around the sun. He made us first on earth. He made the sun and He made heaven and earth first, and then He made this light, the lights, lesser light and the greater light, sun and the moon and the stars, to administer light to us. They're coming up in the east and they're going down in the west. Sometimes the moon comes up in the east and goes back down in the east, but that's another lesson. All right, but the Most High did that to shut down the theory of astrology that we're going around anything. We not circling nothing. We being right here, fixed in a place. All right. In 3 years, let's see. Okay. Verse 13. In 3 years there are 1,092 days, and in 5 years 1,820 days. So that in 8 years there are 2,912 days. Just count up the days for you. Now for the moon alone, the days in 3 years come to 1,062 days. So that's 30 days short. in 3 years. And in 5 years, it's 50 days behind. So every year, it's getting short. It's coming out 10 days later. What we just had read earlier. It's 10 days off. You watching the moon, you're going to be 10 days off. 10 days off of the feast. I'm telling you right here. And there are 1,770 days in 5 years, so that for the moon, the days in 8 years amounts to 2,832 days. So the sun is coming out every day, 2,912 days. And in 8 years, the moon only came out 2,832 days. That's a difference of 80 days in 8 years. So it's showing you, you're just going to get off more and more and more. You keep following the moon. This is what's going on. For the difference in 8 years is 80 days. And all the days that the moon are behind in 8 years are 80 days. And the years completed exactly in accordance with their positions and the positions of the sun, in that they rise from the gates from which the sun rises and sets for 30 days. And the leaders of the 10,000s, who are in charge of the whole creation and in charge of all the stars, and also the 4 days which are added. These are the 4 days, the new moons right now, and are not separate from their position according to the whole reckoning of the year. And these serve on the 4 days that are not counted in the reckoning of the year. All praise to the Most High. This is very self-explanatory. If people get out of that, all I need is the Bible. All I need is the Bible doctrine. Okay, this is part of the scriptures. Okay, Enoch, man, this is the book of Enoch we're reading right now. Right, 7 from Adam. Right, caught up in a whirlwind, ascended up, caught up in a whirlwind, and caught up by the Most High, taken up off, the face of the earth, and man couldn't find it. Right, he's referenced by Jude. You know what I'm saying? Jude, I think 1:14, and in Hebrews 11:5. Right. This is scriptural, biblical truth right here. We read it, man. Gotta want to know. Gotta want to study to show yourself approved. You can't just say, that's good enough. I'm gonna just read the Bible and that's good enough. You're not gonna get the whole truth. You're not gonna get it. Okay, and you're gonna err, like Moses said, on all the feast days, festivals, solemn days, holy days, all of that. And because of them, this is chapter 75, verse 2. And because of them, men go wrong in them, for these lights really serve in the stations of the world, one in the first gate, one in the third gate, one in the fourth gate, and one in the sixth gate. These are 6 gates that are in the east and the west, that the sun and the moon and the stars come up and go down every single day. That's what it's talking about. And the exact harmony of the world is completed in the separate 364 stations of the world. For the signs and the times and the years and the days were showed to me by the angel Uriel, whom the Most High of eternal glory has placed in charge of all the lights of heaven and in the world, so that they might rule on the face of heaven and appear over the earth and be leaders of the day and night, the sun, the moon, the stars, and all the servant creatures who revolve in all the chariots of heaven. All right? Now, we'll read one more in Enoch 82, chapter 82, verse 4. And we'll be wrapping up. Most High willing. Okay. Book of Enoch 82, verse 4. Blessed are all the righteous, those who keep the law. Okay, that's what righteous precept too, according to Psalms 119, 1, 2, and 3. Blessed are all those who walk in the way of righteousness and do not sin like the sinners, in the numbering of all their days in which the sun journeys in heaven, coming in and out through the gates of heaven for 30 days, with the leaders of the thousands of this order of stars, and with the 4 which are added, and divided between the 4 seasons of the year, new moons, which lead them and appear with them on 4 days. They're talking about the 4 angels, all right? There's an angel over every new moon that brings in a new season into the year. It's not just happening. The Most High is in order in heaven on the throne. He got angels doing every single thing. You got angels that bring strong winds. You got angels that bring calm winds. You got angels that bring more heat. You got angels that bring snow, frost. You got angels that have duties for everything. Okay. The Bible doesn't go deep into these things, but it speaks on certain things, and you can, if you read Enoch, you're like, wow, you got the east wind, and they tell you where the winds come from in the book of Enoch. Verse 5, because of them, men go wrong and they do not reckon them in the reckoning of the whole year. For men go wrong in respect of them, and do not know them exactly. So because they're not reckoning the 4 days that are added, they're going to go wrong, which is why they go according to the 360-day calendar, according to the understanding we read in Genesis chapter 7 and chapter 8. So this is what's going on, y'all. For they belong in the reckoning of the year and are truly recorded forever. One in the first gate, one in the third, one in the fourth, and one in the sixth. And the year is completed in 364 days. This is Enoch, okay, precepting with Jubilees, right? And the account of it is true, and the record and the recorded reckoning of it is exact, for the lights and the months and the feasts and the years and the days. This is the same thing it says in Genesis chapter 1, 14, 15, 16, about what he made the lights for. Uriel showed me and inspired me, he to whom the Most High of the whole created world gave commands about the host of heaven for me. All the host of heaven, the sun, the moon, and the stars. Verse 8, and he has power in heaven over night and day to cause light to shine on men, the sun, the moon, and stars, and all the powers of heaven which rotate in their orbits. And this is the law of stars, which set in their places at their times and at their feasts and their months. And these, now you got to understand, the stars are angels, okay? Oh man, this can break down so many times in the Bible, but this is not the point of why, this is not the subject matter. But most I when I do a lesson on angels, they're not being respected as stars, not being respected as the sons of the Most High in the Bible. We'll do another lesson on that. And these are the names of those who lead them, who keep watch, so that they appear at their times, in their orders, in their months, and in the periods of rule, in their positions. So the Most High got leadership, hierarchy of angels, over other angels that are supposed to come out at certain times of the year, bring heat, bring water, bring thunder, bring lightning, all of that. This all in order, all right? And these are the names of those who lead them, who keep watch, so that they appear at their times, in their orders, and in their months, and in the periods of rule, and in their positions. There are 4 leaders. These are the 4 angels over the 4 new moons, 4 divisions of the year, the 4 seasons of the year, who divide the 4 parts of the year, appear first, and after them the 12 leaders of the orders, who divide the months and the years into 364 days, with the heads over thousands, who separate the days. And for the 4 days that are added to them, there are the leaders who separate the 4 parts of the year. And for these heads over 1,000, one is added between the leader and the led, but the leaders make the separation. And these are the names of the leaders who separate the 4 appointed parts of the year: Melchiel, Elimelech, Malikiel, and Narel. And the names of those who they lead. It goes into the other ones that lead under them. And all others follow behind the 3 leaders of the orders, who follow behind those leaders of the positions who separate the 4 parts of the year. In the beginning of the year, Melchiel rises first and rules, who is called the southern sun, and all the days of his period during which he rules are 91. That's 13 weeks, y'all. All right, add it up. 91 plus 91 is 182, plus another 91, plus another 91 is 364 days. 13 weeks. So you got a new moon every 13 weeks, y'all. It's 4 of them in a year. Last verse in Enoch. And these are the signs of the days that are to be seen on the earth in the days of his period of rule. It's talking about during the first new moon, which is what we're coming into now. Sweat and heat and calm, and all the trees bear fruit, and the leaves appear on all the trees, and the wheat harvest, and rose flowers, and all the flowers bloom in the fields, but the trees of the winter are withered. So coming into this season, this is all things we see because we're in a new moon. Right? Now, we're going to finish it up with a couple of precepts of the word, and we'll close out. We got Exodus 20 and 8. Okay? So as we got the first day of the year, we know there's equal part day, equal part night. All we got to do is count the Sabbaths, right? This is why the Most High told Moses in Exodus 28, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. The only commandment that starts with the word remember. Because we what? Because we've forgotten this Sabbath day for watching the moon. Okay? We let the moon tell us when the Sabbath day, when the feast days is. We got to remember the Sabbath day. So if you know the first day of the year, now you just count the Sabbaths. That's all you got to do. Don't it tell you 7 Sabbaths from the Feast of Unleavened Bread? Then you have the Feast of First Fruits. That's what it says. 7 Sabbaths. You count the Sabbaths. That's it. And you're going to keep every feast day at its appointed time and season. All right? Let's get Matthew. Break down a little bit more revelation on this, man. Matthew chapter 6. Okay? We know this is the prayer of the Most High, right? We'll start at 9. It says, After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. That's the part I want to read. Now we can be synchronized with the heavens because just like the Most High hallowed the Sabbath in Genesis chapter 2, okay, sanctified it, then he gave it a law to us to keep the Sabbath, right, in the law. We're supposed to be on the same time as the heavens, keeping every Sabbath, new moon, feast, and holy day. All right? We're not supposed to have a different day. So even in our prayer to the Most High, we supposed to do everything. And if you've been praying that prayer, the Most High is bringing that truth to you today. Those that don't know how to keep the proper time. Now you can have the proper time to do the will of the Father in earth as it is in heaven. Right? Let's go to... matter of fact, let's go to one more precept. Let's go to Sirach 33 and 7. Why doth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun? So the sun come out every day all year long. But why is one day better, right? By the knowledge of the Most High, they were distinguished, and he altered seasons and feasts. The Most High got certain holy days and certain seasons, and he declared them, right? And then, verse 9 says, some of them hath he made high days and hallowed them, like the Sabbath, like the Feast of Tabernacles, like the Feast of Unleavened Bread, like the Day of Atonement. And some of them hath he made ordinary days. So you don't want to be guilty of keeping the Passover on an ordinary day. You don't want to do that, man. All right? You got to do your diligent study and get the whole knowledge of the truth. Then you can truly be obedient, keeping the law, not breaking the law. When you keep the feast on the wrong day, you're breaking the law because you're not even keeping the feast on the right day. You're keeping it on an ordinary day. All right? One more precept, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 29. All praise to the Most High, Yeshua, Bashim Yeshai, right? The secret things, okay? What we just read today, I would classify them as the secret things because no one is even watching them as if it don't make no sense. Most High done revealed the knowledge and truth. Knowledge has increased in the last days, according to prophecy in Daniel. So this is Deuteronomy 29 and 29. The secret things belong unto Ahia, our power. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Now we got the secret of how to keep the time, which is what the book of Jubilees is. It's the secret of the times, how to tell times. We got the understanding in Enoch. We precepted with the scriptures. Now we can keep the new moon at its fixed appointed time and all the feasts. Today is the new moon. Today is the first day of the year. You count 14 days from the day you in the Passover. And you're not going to error. Not one time, right? Now we can keep the law. Keep these words of law. Come out of curses. Receive that compassion. Receive that mercy from the Most High as we turn back to the law. All right? So all praise to the Most High. Hayah, Bashim Yeshai. The Water of Israel, for listening and getting this word of truth. Double check, Get your extra scriptural text if you don't have it. Book of Enoch, Book of Jubilees, Jasher, Book of the 12 Patriarchs, Apocalypse of Paul. Get these books, y'all. These are scriptural texts that bring you completely into the knowledge of truth. All right? So I just say, I pray y'all have a great feast. New moon feast today. Gather with your brother if you can. Blow your trumpets. Bless the Most High and thank Him for we in a new year, we in a new season, and the Most High's visitation is already going on right now, y'all. So y'all be blessed. Stay prayed up, fast, seek the Most High, sin not, and we're gonna be in Zion soon. All right? Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.